Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boxing fans around the world. The out of cycle update based on some recent measurings that I talked about it briefly, but there's a little bit more about it now. Tonight, in about 15 minutes from now, on Fox Sports will be the heavyweight fight between Luis Ortiz versus Prince Charles Martin. I mentioned it before, and Luis Ortiz, of course, is the Cuban who's most known for getting knocked out by Deontay Wilder twice. And then Prince Charles Martin is most known for quitting essentially against Anthony Joshua. And Charles Martin has come out and said, he wants to win this, and it's kind of a big win need for him because he wants a rematch against Anthony Joshua, and he plans to have 4 more fights before he retires, and he would have shocked Deontay Wilder, unlike Luis Ortiz. And Charles Martin's been doing a lot of talking, and because of that talking, I suspect Charles Martin gets knocked out probably within, let's say, 9 rounds. I suspect he gets knocked out, either that or he quits. And the thing is, the joke is that Luis Ortiz is kind of just this veteran. He's older and he's on the way out. I don't see that. It's just Cubans, for whatever reason, look older than they really are. It's not that he's young, but I do believe that Charles Martin is just kind of all talk, or as the young kids say, all cap. And I don't see that he is going to make a dent in Luis Ortiz because Luis Ortiz is a solid boxer. If you didn't watch him against Wilder, it's not like he didn't put Wilder in danger on quite a few occasions. He did. He's just a solid boxer, and I don't know why people are underrating, I guess, Luis Ortiz based on the Wilder's fight. Because if you look at Charles Martin, he's a solid fighter, but he just doesn't show up when he's under fire, right? So that's what I see of the guy. The theory is because he beat Gerald Washington that it's going to be this blowout for Charles Martin. And I don't know why you rate Gerald Washington, because if you don't remember Gerald Washington, he's the guy that Wilder whiffed shots windmilling against and got stopped. So I don't rate Gerald Washington at all. And I much more rate Luis Ortiz compared to Charles Martin, predominantly because of the performances against Deontay Wilder. I didn't see that. Like, it wasn't like Ortiz made a mistake. It's just with Wilder, you get caught with that right hand. Everybody gets caught with the right hand. Stavern got caught with it. Fury got caught with it. Even if he couldn't knock them out, like in the first fight with Stavern or in any of the fights with Fury, he still catches you with it. So everybody gets caught with it. Nobody has been able to avoid getting caught with it. So Ortiz didn't make any mistakes against Deontay Wilder. It's just Wilder's going to catch you with that right hand. So to me, I don't see this as any competitive fight for Charles Martin. Could it be wrong? Sure, but I don't rate Charles Martin at all. That's my personal opinion. But we'll see how it all goes because it's happening on Fox Sports. The sad thing is that's a pay-per-view, so I will have to, quote, acquire it because I do want to watch at least the main event. Now, I'm going to skip the co-main because boring-ass Frank Sanchez is on the undercard. He's fighting Carlos Negron, and to me, that's going to be a wash for Sanchez because Sanchez is a great fighter. He's just boring. So I think he's going to blow out Negron easily over 10 rounds. I don't think that's going to be worth watching. There's another heavyweight fight between Johnny Rice and Michael Coffey. I don't know much about either guy, but it's nice to see more heavyweight action there. And then Gerald Washington is fighting on the undercard again. I don't know why he hasn't retired. And then Victor Faust is fighting Kalazi in an opener. So I don't know anything about those guys. So it's not like it's a high heralded type thing. It's all going down in Florida at the Seminole Hard Rock. And again, that's happening as I record this within 15 minutes. That's why I want to get this up prior to the fight. What I'll do is I will dial in for the main event. I'm not doing the undercard because it's, I think, a garbage undercard from my perspective. But I will acquire, quote unquote, the main event, and I will watch that one just to see if I'm right. And Luis Ortiz blows Charles Martin out before the 12th round. That's what I expect will happen. Either that or Martin quits, but I don't think he'll quit. I think he'll just get blitzed. I think he'll get beat, outboxed. And Ortiz is a slow starter. That's why I was banking on, 9 rounds ish, because Ortiz is a slow starter and it'll take some time for him to get some steam. And I think Martin will be there, at least initially, showing a good jab and kind of keeping Ortiz at bay, just like Wilder did, keeping out of the way of that hand. But I think eventually Ortiz is going to nail him with some stuff that wobbles him, just like he did with Wilder. And I think Ortiz is going to get him out of there. That's my theory. So that's my call if you want to watch in on that one. And then I'll give some secondary updates on some previous fights that I at least talked about. If you remember, I was talking about fights with guys that were overrated, predominantly by the media. One of those guys was Romero Duno, which he was being hyped, and I believe this was DAZN, as a young Manny Pacquiao, and then Ryan Garcia just sparked him out, and I said that I didn't rate Duno at all, and I think he was going to get knocked out again. Well, that happened. Frank Martin has completely knocked out, stopped, as in Romero Duno. That happened just a few minutes ago on the undercard for Luis Ortiz, Charles Martin. That's what I'm talking about it here. And again, anybody who thought that Duno was going to make this happen, I don't know why you felt that, because the way he got blitzed out by Ryan Garcia should have told you. You know, once you take a knockout like that, and Duno had lost before, but once you take a knockout like that, it's going to be really hard to come back and be at the top level. And Martin was a decent fighter, really decent fighter that was able to essentially nullify what Duno was doing. And it basically wasn't really a close fight. Duno was there, but it wasn't really a close fight. I don't feel personally. Martin also trains with Errol Spence and Derek James, and I called that out to say that I don't think that Duno's going to have anything, and he didn't, and he got completely knocked out. So Duno's out of the way. I suspect that Prince Charles Martin is also going to be out of the way, and I hope that Charles Martin is going to be retiring from the business once he gets stopped or knocked out. I hope that's going to happen. The last update I'll mention, there was supposed to be the fight between young Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Williams. That fight has been rescheduled. That was supposed to have taken place on December 11th. Then it got rescheduled because Liam Williams got injured. It's supposed to be on January 29th, and I remember I mentioned that one. But due to the Omicron of COVID, they were having some concerns with the medical personnel. So it wasn't that anybody's ducking or any of that stuff. It's just they're not confident they'll have staff in place like they need to. So it's going to be rescheduled. They have not picked a date as of yet. I suspect it'll be sometime in February, probably near the end of February is my guess. Still in the UK, but then that one's off, is Eubank Jr. versus Liam Williams. And that one's a little bit of a grudge match just because of chatter on social media. So it'll be an exciting fight, but it's not going to happen right away. So any fight that was supposed to happen in Japan, those are being affected. And then, of course, this one in the UK, I think it's just a brief stopping point, and it's not going to be anything larger. That's my update for you. I'm going to dial in here in a moment after I order some food. Dial in here and see if I can catch the main event for Luis Ortiz versus Prince Charles Martin.